Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are on day 8 of the Galfond Challenge against Action Freak. With me in the booth, we have Henry Kilbane, aka the GTO commentator. So we are fresh off a 21,000 euro win for Phil. He's up
300
just under
heads
a
up.
cool €250,000.
Casual.
Yep, and they're around a third of the way through. That call,
Go-
Phil's gonna do quite well on this turn. Sorry, Henry. Take it.
I was just gonna say we do need some table name recommendations if we could leave out the girthy / thick names, so we can get these two puppies
Yeah, I
up
do have
and
a
running.
soft spot in my heart for those, but we can't use them. Phil's gonna be betting basically all of his big pair plus gutter. Ace King Jack, Ace Ace Jack. I would be shocked if he put more than even like a quarter of those in check. Just from my reference, how I watched him play. So he's gonna have Broadway or a King High Straight a decent amount here, and I like him betting small on the turn to represent those hands, leverage his nuts advantage. Instead, he was just trying to lay himself a price and ran into top two that flatted flop. Wow, Freak playing. I mean, he flatted top two in position. What do you think about that? Hard board for Phil to play in this 3-bet pot. Just kind of tough. Getting a showdown with anything that's not trips. The in-position player gets 3 streets to abuse you, as we see.
I mean, I feel like that's a sizing that's just asking to get attacked, and I just pray that Phil's got Queen Jack here and he's just giving Freak
Yeah,
as much rope as possible.
it is basically Phil. I mean, I've watched a decent bit of this at this point on this kind of texture. Phil does this with range, so he's going to have some stronger hands here, and now he's got a waterfall and counter strategy of bet calling, as in bet folding some hands on flop, folding some hands on turn, folding some hands on river. So now we're going to see, at this little awkward SPR, and Freak makes the best of it. What Phil's going to do on this turn. This is really the inflection point in the hand. What does he do with his naked king, naked ace? What's he do with those? There's a lot of them.
Well, I guess we're about to find out. Phil in the
Yeah,
tank.
I don't know. Against such a competent heads-up PILO player, I'm just flicking in call.
You've lost your fold button.
Oh, if I've got
Yeah.
aces and kings are also blocking king, queen, and ace, queen. Let's be real; those are pretty good cards to have in your hand, and you've got 2 of them. And once you have 2 of them, they actually become an overpair that beats all of his bluffs. Brick run out, all of the 10-9-8, king 10-9, ace king 10, all that breaking out for Action Freak. He's loading the gun. He doesn't really ever.
Phil. Spades as
Yeah.
well on the turn. He's just like, listen, I got everything. I got nut boat, nut spades. Holland's one of my favorite countries. Spent most of my early adult life living in Holland. Fired for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Chat Pro Saturday with Richard and Henry. UFC tonight. Wow, I feel like Corona is over.
Yeah, we got a. Well, I was gonna say we got a lull, but then I remembered we were playing 153, and Phil is. These guys are 3-betting like a sixth of the deck. Firing off. He's going to be playing pretty high frequency check here. Otherwise, he's going to be piling it, possibly trying to push major equity with a dominating draw, dominating made hand. Nope. Respecting the 79 of Action Freak, playing his turn check. Yeah, Freak saying I've got a lot of flush draws here, and some of them even block the straight, so I'm gonna wager the maximum because I can't just come up with I can't look under the mattress and find more 79s, and I've got a lot more bluffs, a lot more draws than I have straights. 4-7, 7-9, all playing this way. Maybe something like Ace 8-8 if he somehow called flop, Ace 7-8-8 or something like that, playing this way. He's not just going to be straights here for value, but he's got all the bluffs in the deck. Phil looking him up, and on this river, No new straights got there. If Phil has something like ace 6-7, probably gonna flick it in as quick as Freak does.
Beat him to the pot.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you've got ace 6-7 here and then they jam, your mouse is hovering over the call button. You're just waiting for the call button to show up.
Wow. Phil. Rivering a set of tens. Spade's no good. What did I miss?
Well, we've got some
spiciness going on.
Some youths. We've got some roulette strats. We've got people asking your age, sex, and location on AOL. Got a little
nice, man. I miss those days. Waiting for the server to boot up.
Yeah? I never understood why everyone was a 13-year-old girl from California.
I don't know, man. Maybe there's like a thing to that.
Didn't they make a TV show about that?
What was it called? Jersey Shore.
To catch something. What was it? Anyway, we've got a pot-sized bet going in on the turn of Jar Jar, saying, "Oh
wow,
Phil slow playing his king high straight could have probably gotten all of it from second nut with redraw from Freak. Very peaceful check on the river there."
So I'm assuming at some point, if Freak does manage to transfer some funds, the games will, be moved back over to Run It Once. You know,
love this turn bet, small and wide, continuing with tons of his bluffs and overpairs from Freak on Binked. Phil's going to have a couple 5x that makes a stand here. We've seen him bluff raise in the past in exactly this spot to like 10.5K before with raise folds. Does he attack it again? Nope. Possibly slow playing. Although for that sizing, he has to continue with a decent amount of his Queen X. All of his King is showing up here, for instance. Trashko asking, is the quality poor? I hope you mean the video quality of the stream and not us, but if you don't like us, let us know what you want to hear, and we may or may not cater to you. Probably the latter, but you never know. You might have a good suggestion.
Hey, well, Joe, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so since Freak's so wide on the turn, he's going to have so many hands that don't have a 5 or 4 in them, a lot of Queen X plus, Queens, Kings, Aces. So when he checks here, he's trying to get to showdown, and it's a game of does Phil have the trips or better or not? Something. Oh, wow. Snap sticks it in.
Debated.
You know that meme where there's the African dudes with the sunglasses in the casket? Oh, this is the spot for it.
I do know that meme actually, and
Phil being sent to his funeral here with the quick check jam. Oh, you hate to see it. This is the most gangster bluff in the world, if it is a bluff. If it was a bluff, it got through, but that is, spoiler alert, never a bluff.
Phil being handed the rope and Freak getting an extra 18K out of his man.
You ever heard the story about the, I think it was the founder of FedEx, gambling with his money when he couldn't make payroll with sub 10K left? The company was about to fall apart.
Oh, I didn't.
He rolled up a stake and went to Vegas and flipped it. And
no way.
And then paid his payroll, and now we've got FedEx. Freak,
wow.
betting on the very dynamic texture, checking when Phil has a small polarity advantage now, having his greater density of 67 coming in on the turn. Phil now in the driver's seat with all of his, like, for instance, Jack 7 of diamonds. Going to be betting here versus check. It's going to be a combination of a couple made hands, something like King 8 6 plus. And then for this sizing, we can see some really funky hands show up here, like some really funky hands.
How funky is funky? We like deuce, 3, 4.
No,
That
no.
funky.
I mean, like, oh, well,
Wow.
hold the phone. We're about to find out. Nuts versus
Wow, and Phil scooping a 62,000 euro pot. Snapping off of the nuts. Freak with middle set.
Yeah.
And,
you know, when Freak jams there, I mean, although he did have 9-9 with a 6 blocker, right?
he did indeed.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a giant cooler. That's ice cold. You got to feel for him a little bit. I mean, we don't because he's the villain in this challenge, right? But we you know, if you got a little heart, feel for the man. Stick him in all
a big one, and I think that means Phil's up around about half a buy-in now. Hey, Phil. Double N saying, who cares? We love Richard and Henry. Have a good international flavor duo from the both of them. Thanks, man. Appreciate the kind words. Get your yay Phils in the chat.
You know, I can let you in on a little secret. I'm actually a European mutt.
Yeah, I'm a crossbreed myself. Dad's from America. Got the old dual nationality.
Oh, you do?
I do indeed.
Which two?
Well, American and British.
Oh, wait. What are the odds? I have that too.
No way.
Yeah, that's why when I graduated, I just went to London. I was like, all right, well, let's check this out, see the grandparents. Phil piling super deep, could have a 100K pot here. Queen Jack 7-4, so many draws out there. If we get a fold here, I'll be shocked. Wide ranges, assuming this was 3-bet call, check, pile.
It was indeed.
We have a lot of mandatory continues here for Action Freak, and this river is sadly going to shut down a lot of the action just because ranges are going to polarize so much. Phil's going to have to check back a lot of his middling hands on this straightening river. But now it's a question of, does Phil have the air ball? Kind of hard for him to have like King 10-9, 10-9x, 10-9-8, I guess. 10-9-8-5 would be his primary bluff here. But if you're talking 4 cards, that's so infrequent to have. We've got Phil's straights and then possibly like set plus, set with straight blocker plus for value for Phil. And then
we have a going for value with like Queen Jack with like a 5 or a 6 blocker, like top 2 and a straight blocker.
You can think about it, but then what do they have? What are we getting called by?
That's true.
That's true. Blocking there. Oh, and Queen 7 checking back against Queen Jack. Well, that answers your question of whether you should go any thinner than Queen Jack. The answer is no. Because you're just going to run into that.
Love to see it.
I mean, you hate to see it, but I love to see good poker.
I think that's what everyone, likes to see. I mean, listen, there are people in here that just want to see 100K pots left, right, and center, even though we've only got 2 tables up. But I'm a big fan of small pots, but interestingly, played out.
Well, that's strange for Phil to get one of the best boards he can get for a very high EV, low sizing c-bet, and he decides to play it as check, possibly defending his checking range. Twatas, glad to hear that you are on an upswing. POL heaters are something to savor. Don't forget it when you go on a 50 buy-in downer. Welcome to the great game. Phil check calling. Does he ever lead this ace? Maybe not this time, but I mean, it doesn't really accomplish much to lead the ace. You folded all their bluffs. But wow, big river over on banked, completing the straights. Better for Phil slightly. Freak deciding to shut down his bluff over on Jar Jar, most likely, unless he was betting for value with something like Jack, Jack, King, King, Queen, Queen, those hands for some value protection. Phil going with it on banked. It's not immediately obvious what he could have here to reach into for bluffs. Maybe something like ace, queen, 10-9, anything with a 10 that had some kind of draw. maybe some missed diamonds with the 10, maybe even 10-10. Say you have 10-10-9. Phil's definitely advanced enough to be able to find those bluffs, but man, do I not want to be in Freak's shoes. He agrees and gives it up. Wow. Do you see this bet very often, Henry, on this river spot?
So 3-bet pot, Phil check calls,
Check
half pot
calls,
on the
check,
flop,
yeah,
check turn,
and then check half pot river. That is a very unusual bet. It just looks like it wants to be messed with. Like it's ready to just bet call it off. And Phil
wow.
goes for it. And Freak, what's he gonna do if he's got, for instance, a king or jack high flush mandatory value bets? No blocker is gonna be pretty uncomfortable. Does he
Phil
have
putting
the quad
Freak's
piece?
half pot bet in the
Last time he
bin.
was nutted and Phil left a tiny amount of money behind, Freak insta put the money in, so a bit of a tell here that we know he probably doesn't have the quads. Time bank ticking down. Oh, finds 15 seconds from somewhere.
Pulls it out of thin air.
Going
He's gonna
deep
use
in
it
the
all.
tank. Phil has a ton of naked ace actually he can be bluffing here with. Clearly going
Wow.
for his mind. Instead, it's the queen with, oh,
Wow.
what did
60k pot going Phil's way.
Freak have? Phil having everything you could want, all you can eat. Double entendre there.
Man. Can't wait to get my hair cut.
Yeah, dude, I actually cut my own hair pretty much,
Yeah,
and it
that's
turned
what
out
I
pretty,
did.
pretty decent.
Yeah, I shaved all my hair off, and it's like grown back now, and it's at that stage where, yeah, it just like I'm glad that I'm not going to be seen in public anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah. Derek saying 4k euros in the middle, and commentators are worried about getting their Starbucks comped. Richard, what have you been saying whilst I was away? Jesus, man, can't be trusted.
I was actually making the comment that 4K in the middle and it's unremarkable, hence we're so spoiled. Meanwhile, Phil getting piled on after he goes for thin value on the river, or at least something that looks like thin value. Freak possibly pouncing on it. Oh, no way. Turns out whenever my credit card got stolen and scammed in Cancun. Wow, Queen Jack bet calls. Good job, Phil, finding a call there, realizing, yes, I look weak. He knows I look weak. I'm not going to get leveled into folding top trips.
A $10 million car. I mean, if that's not the biggest flex available out there, then I really don't know what is.
Well, I can't buy that, but it's expensive because the tech isn't there yet, but it's like supposed to compete with Tesla 10 years from now.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the idea.
No, I haven't seen it. Link me up. I'd be
We got some
curious.
hands. Let's skip the Benzes. They're wagering. I guess they're not wagering Benzes yet, but it might happen.
Get a decent condition Ford Fiesta on the table binked.
Yeah, Binked is going to get some juicy drama. So many draws out there. Pretty hard to do some hero folding when your opponent piles it in your face. Phil should be ripping it here a good deal unless he wants to just take his equity.
Wow, Freak says rest.
Yeah, give me all the money, Phil.
Oh my word, Phil Galfond. Phil Galfond, ladies and gentlemen. Pinging the spade, drilling it in.
Wow.
Up 100 Gs on the day, but we are going to get confirmation on the next break.
I don't know, man. I spent like 2.5 years looking for a life partner and didn't find someone. So it could have happened a lot sooner.
Oh wow, you're ready.
I'm pretty old, man. I'm an old 26 for sure.
Yeah, I feel yeah. Still, I don't know. I still haven't done South America properly, in terms of traveling. So I feel like I want to get that out of the way with before, try popping out some Monkasol or WizKids.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, dude, I don't think my kids are gonna play poker. I don't know. It's it took me such an unbelievably unusual path to get here. I'd be completely shocked if their life paths took them on to intersect in the same way, especially since poker is going to be dead 30 years from now.
Wow, Phil getting cheeky,
With the
getting
deuce of spades,
snapped
just
off.
little deuce ball.
Let's try saying, did we get word back about the commentator feet cam? Still waiting to hear from Phil himself. Nurse try, but I promise you, as soon as we get the green light, we'll have that pop up on the display. We'll set up a premium Snapchat. You can set up for my fans only account, just at GTO_commentator. You're welcome.
Look at this shell that Phil just unloaded.
Rest, says Phil. Oh boy. Check Rizzle from Freak, and no snap call.
Should be a snap call though. Maybe he's just scratching his. I don't know what's. He might be scratching his head about what this guy's doing, but how does he pot it here and then pot fold? What possible hands? You'd have to have something that's like pair on flop that doesn't connect with the board, so like sixes that turns hearts. Because if you have 7x of hearts here or something like that, you're
Oh, he does
calling
fold.
spot, right?
Hey, it does fold. Freak will take it, taking it down without seeing a river card. And action
Yeah,
river
wow.
card over on table Jar Jar after Freak bumped it up on the King of Spades turn. That hits Phil's range more than Freak's.
Yeah, so Freak identified Phil had enough floats there to be able to stick it on the turn, probably light there. Pretty high level play going down. Shorzy with some good advice. Don't look for love in LA or Vegas. probably on the mark.
Damn. All Chicago. Nah, too
Well,
soon? Too soon, yeah. Too soon, Henry.
Didn't find it in Connecticut. Didn't find it in London. Anyway, we got a pot. Oh my God! Check raise or in position raise. Do you think he ever does this with 10-6?
I'm thinking if he's ever turning like a hand like King 9, 10x into a bluff.
Oh, that's gangster.
That would be gangster as
Yeah, I don't really. I think he would just snap this river sizing off of King 10-9 though.
That's true. That is true. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, for price, he's kind of.
Maybe he's trying to get the 65 to fold. But yeah, you're right. Given the price, it does get Phil to fold. So Freak clawing a little bit back on both tables. People saying Henry's cheeky laugh is the best. I think that's Richards.
It is. It is.
I do think that's Richard. It's kind of like a evil genius / mad scientist type laugh, and
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
pot repot.
Man, action really picking up over on table Binkt last half hour or so. Seen some huge pots. Scrimmer saying realizing the equity means letting your opponent hit their gutter. Yeah, man, I feel that pain. Certainly guilty of that myself many times. Silent Bob saying the non-live total winnings update during sessions has hurt the viewer count last few streams. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. It's a shame, but we know that Freak's not doing it intentionally. He loves the software. He loves playing on Run It Once. Just moving 250k around. Not that easy at the moment. I am hoping, the final few sessions coming down to the wire, we are going to move back over to Rio.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen that new Ford versus Ferrari film?
Sorry, the new.
Ford versus Ferrari.
I haven't. No.
Well, it's about a race. I think the 24 hours at Le Mans or something like that. And
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for that. That actually looks really good.
yeah, they bring all the cars in together at the same time. It's symbolically, it'd be kind of cool to get, the final hands of this challenge put in on Run It Once.
Oh, I'm trying to get Richard's juices flowing. I don't want him to give up on the hangovers and the skydives over
All right.
Dubai
Well,
and stuff like that.
I've learned not to rail about old age in the Twitch chat. There you go, guys. One last jab and we're on to the next subject.
Yo, talking of skydiving, you ever jumped out of a plane before?
No, not much desire. Do you?
I have jumped out of a plane.
Did you land? You made
it? I did.
Yeah.
I survived. Well, no, honestly, it was one of the greatest things I've ever done. Cannot recommend it enough. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Wow. Also, just of note, Freak just raise folded to a 3-bet. Being 200 BBs deep, he might be playing tighter ranges this deep.
Huh. That's interesting. Unheard of as well. Unseen up until now, I should say.
Right. Hence, yeah, that's why I pointed it out.
Krabby Clink saying, "No, Richard, you're talking to his ghost." Lol. No,
well,
honestly.
It could be a little text-to-speech, little AI thing. You never know.
Yeah, man, that's something I should work on, just in case I ever, don't stick the landing. I want to continue doing commentary.
So we had a pot size bet on this turn, and then Phil called and checked river. That's where we're at?
I believe so.
I would buy Freak's action if I could. I think he's a large favorite in this hand. Both tables super deep. Opportunity for 130, 140k pots on each table. Give the people what they want. Very draw heavy. Oh, calls with the Kang. Yeah, nice hand. Good call. I am 1 degree of separation away from Chris or Hanson or whatever. What's that guy's name? Do you ever follow chess?
I don't. I'm afraid. No. I mean, I dabbled in the game when I was young, but it's just not my cup of tea.
I used to trade poker lessons with at the time the best female chess player in Canada. She went to my college, and she was friends with Eric Hansen. Never met him, but one degree of separation away.
Wow, well, we were.
Yeah, pretty impressive, to be honest. She was quite smart, like really, really smart. Oh man, I'm not very good at chess.
Gavin always said, "Why is there no PLO 100 on rear?" It's a big jump from PLO 50 to PLO 200. That's a great question, actually.
Hold on. By Phil betting here, he's just opened up his stack where he's gonna have to, if for instance, say he has like 10-8-6, he's gonna have to call off a jam. So Phil has just consented to a 100k pot, 110k pot. If Freak decides to go with it here, he's got plenty of overpair gutter, overpair flush draws, and he hasn't jammed yet, so he's probably weaker than top 2.
Wow.
But there it is. And Phil, how can he fold? Incoming.
Oh boy. If Phil makes the call, it'll be 115k pot deep in the tank. Freak with the turn check rip for 50 Gs.
Does he really pot here with like Jack 10-6 though, or Jack 10-7? Like, how does Phil bet fold here? I just don't. Maybe he has something like King 9. Oh,
wow!
Oh, let's go, baby!
Wow!
Just
what
the wrap.
the? Holy shit, dude!
That's a wrap, fellas.
Was it a wrap? Did he have Jack 8-6-5 on a 9-7-3?
Yeah. Nut gutter and then the bottom 3 straight cards.
Wow. Versus top 2 overpaired diamonds.
Oh, he had diamonds too?
He did indeed.
No way.
Phil Galfond just drilling in the second nut straight on the river.
Wow. Dirac, I appreciate the comment. Honestly, I'm not going to speak to Jay Nandis's advice. I think we should stick to more vetted content on Run It Once.
Pappy Van Winkle saying, has Stape called in a 4-bet horn yet today? We've had a couple. We have had a couple.
If he wants to call me out for a heads-up challenge, I'll snap that shit off so fast. Anyway,
Holy shit, dude. I tell myself every day, listen, you know, Richard's not going to put you in a tough spot on stream, and then first it was the mushrooms on a beach in Bali, and now we're just calling out
I mean, I
PLO
don't know, man.
coaches. Phil jamming, and wow,
runs into the ace-4.
Runs into the ace-4. Phil, an Action Freak, as well as Richard and myself, be back on Monday for some more high-stakes PLO.
It's the Lord's Day, right? Day of rest tomorrow? I guess depending on who your Lord is.
It is indeed.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that a musician at one point?
Lord? Yeah, I think like Australian or something, right?
Yeah, not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, just one of those throw out a few tunes for 6 months and then disappear
Cash
and
the
enjoy
checks.
it.
Gotta appreciate it. Wow. Okay. So we've seen previously that Freak just doesn't bet fold his like overpaired gutter, which is correct in this spot. So we should be seeing him stack off whenever he pots here, pretty much. He'll have a couple pot folds, but
yeah, there we go.
There it is.
And oh wow.
Wow. Top pair against set.
Turns a gut shot and flush draw, but doesn't get there.
Phil now. Wow, look how deep this SPR is unbanked, and he's the one starting with pot.
4-bet over on Jar Jar. Get your horns out.
Oh man. Oh man. It's coming.
Freak does call.
All right. Little horn lag there.
Freak calling over on the 9-4 tray. Jack of diamonds on the turn.
Hands are going to get so interesting. So it's only SPR 1.5 on Jar Jar, so Phil's got a decent amount of leeway to just like bet stack off most of what he's 4-betting. On banked, this I like that. I like that bet. He did this last time. He was in a 4-bet pot on this type of texture. Phil thinking, I guess hoping the Jack doesn't interact too strongly with Freak's flop calling range. It does at some, existent low frequency where he turns like Jack 9. Phil probably just, if I had to guess, jamming some kind of, overpair gutter flush draw, or, maybe the occasional flop set with, for instance, a double paired hand, 8-8, 4-4 or something like that.
Wow, I mean, like a 0.2 SPR go to the Jack of Spades river and a couple of big pots on both tables.
Yeah, you imagine Phil's going to put it in here, and it's just coming down to whether his opponent rivered Jacks full or Jack X. Getting the fold over on Jar Jar, Phil must love that on such a dynamic texture. Equity's still a lot up in the air. Getting the fold there is huge for many of Phil's weaker hands.
I'm getting the fold on table big as well, man.
Right. I mean, at that low of an SPR, there's not too much value in checking to induce because the in-position player has basically no fold equity.
What a day.
Right, that was a proper one. This is the way. Phil potentially thinking that there's an adjusted through-up percent, given the context of the momentum going against Freak, although he's an elite player, so possibly not. Could be that his 4-bet is wider than he's been doing for the rest of the match. He's been extremely snug. And Freak just, deciding, okay, on this texture, I've got enough against naked aces. I'm going to pot call it off, and there he is. Bang, bang.
Just gets there on the turn. Doesn't even need to sweat a river. Oh, man. This quarantine's driving me insane. Holy shit. I've got one guy pictured in my mind so clearly right now. Just like walks around with like a few chips. And he's like, I want to play 5-10. And I'm like, okay, let's play. He's like, no, I want to play 5-5. I'm like, okay, we'll play 5-5. He's like, actually, I want to play 5-10. I'm like, sure, just sit down, please, man. Come on. Like, whatever you want to play.
Cards.
Let's just go. Man, I'm missing it. I'm missing it.
Yeah, so I actually want to run this spot. I'm not sure what the OOP player is supposed to do.
Oh, God.
Over on the left table.
Yeah. Top card pairing. Freak checking over to Phil.
It's really something how people have gotten so close to what correct play looks like. It's awe-inspiring how accurate these guys are doing on the fly exactly what they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
don't get to these stakes, but just luckily, I mean, there are some guys that fluke it, they just go on the insane heater and, they quickly get smacked down to the mid stakes again after a few months. But
interestingly, there is a 25% pot frequency here for Phil, so him potting it here is not unusual. Roughly half the time he bets, he's going to be potting it. Taking a combination of his pair blockers and full houses, I think Ace-King probably doing a different line than this. Rafiq, yeah, I was on 4-0. That is me. Those are the same person. That's my company.
Oh, wow.
King, queen. Wow, queen 10 against the give up ace 10. I wonder if Phil's going to pot this board. He's definitely mixing here, but it's the kind of texture that these guys have been going back and forth potting. And 3-bet pots. There it is. I would have been surprised before I saw these heads-up matches. I would have been surprised to see this, but seems normal now.
Wow. Freak saying, let's play for 100 big blinds, please, Phil.
Just to give you an understanding of why I'm commenting on it, Vision goes half pot with about 60% of his hands. It has 0 pot size bets here. So both of these guys are doing something a little different. We've got naked ace, king, queen 10 against top 2.
Ooh.
Phil in jail there with the ace and queen shared with his opponent, drawing to a king that was not a backdoor club king.
I'm saying I like Phil, but why is he losing so much? I don't know what.
Yeah,
I don't know what match you've been watching, man, but you need to get your eyes fixed. Seriously, man's up 300k. If you're talking about the short-term variance of him losing for the last hour or so, then yeah, I feel you.
Wow, just piling it in. What bluffs would you look for here? Straights all got there. Besides like ace 4 with the ace of hearts. He's going to have to reach into some non-traditional bluffing hands. That's one of them. King of hearts with a 4. Nice call, Phil. With the, if you're not counting straight flushes, 3rd nut flush.
Hey, Low Omaha. Subscribe with the Twitch Prime. Subscribe for 3 months in a row. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love. Bento saying, Henry and Richard, would you rather play Phil heads up for your life role or have to play 9 max 1-2 with 8 OMCs on every table for the next 10 years? Oh, man.
I mean, definitely just gamble.
Yeah, just gamble against Phil. I just hope we get slapped by the deck. I mean, yeah. Just call it, what, 300 hands against Phil? Just hit the ground running. Just ping every nut flush draw. I must say, C. Henry would be a great Twitch streamer. Nah, come on, man. Not about that life.
Yeah, but then you'd have to play live for 10 years of your life. Oh my goodness.
Well, not if I lost my role to Phil, you know.
Yeah, right.
Just like lose it to Phil and then just be like, Phil, are you interested in backing me for 10-10? Like, seeing as you took my role.
I feel like the sizings in general have definitely been increasing on turns and rivers as today has gone on. Towards the end of the day, Freak is swinging for the fences in spots where I don't think it's mandatory.
Big
25K
pot.
in the middle.
Yeah, a big pot to wrap things up for the day. And wow.
Cheeky.
What a dirty river card. Gotta give credit where credit's due.
I guess when Freak doesn't polarize, it's a clearer call. It would take me a little bit to find that call though. It's for Phil to do it so quickly. He's clearly dialed in right now.
Yeah, these guys want to call it quits today. Freak with the momentum, and Phil just loves the grind. Just loves the grind. Pot size bet from Phil on the ace of diamonds turn. Board does pair going to the river. And rolling off. Pot size bet from Phil over on table binked as well. Always saying Henry is done. How am I done? Ready to sleep? I'm raring to go, mate. I'm literally gonna grab some food, grab a cup of tea, and then jump on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go on, man.
I was just gonna mention it's tough for Phil to have that backdoor straight he's repping.
He did bet turn. Wow. Okay. 38k pot going Phil's way.
Nice hand, Phil.
3 aces in the hand, pings the ace ball on the turn.
And then gets his opponent to get the king on the river.
One of the toughest streams of my commentary career. Started day 3 with 17 left in an ante-less PLO tournament. And 17 hours later, we had crowned a winner. It was pretty intense.
I'd love that. The playing, not the commentating.
I mean, I think, what was it? 220 bags up top. Worth grand, 17 hours for sure. For the guy that won it.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd go vegan for a year for a mil, then you're definitely going to fire off a game you love for 17 hours.
Yeah.
For a quarter of that.
I was saying I'd be shocked if they played longer than another 10 minutes.
Wow, we have some deep stacks. It's almost a shame to see it break.
Honestly, it might be worth Nick just messaging Phil and saying Henry's strapped in. Henry's good to go if you boys want to, play this out for another few hours. Farrah said it's just my guess. I don't actually know anything. Oh man, that's brilliant. Wow. King 9 drilling in the Queen of Hearts river. I think he actually had the best hand there. You guys. Don't know if any of you have seen it, but check out that ESPN article on Phil. my dad just tweeted me, Henry, your dinner is ready. Over on the giveaway post. Yeah. What a legend. Thanks, Dad. StarCraft fan saying, Henry, what stakes do you play? Anything up to 25 live. And when I say anything up to, I say in the sense that I have shot taken a couple of good 25 games, but the game that I normally play is either 5-5 or 10-10 with a mandatory double straddle. So I mean the 10-10 can get very big. Normally by the time 3 around is 10-10, 25-50. Everyone like 5k, 10k deep. But usually starts off, everyone buying in around like 1k, 1.5k to start off the evening. A 4-bet pot. Freak does call. Phil in position and check 2. Is he going to have a range advantage on this monotone board? More double-suited aces, more nut flush draws, more nut flushes. Does check through and board changing turn card, deuce of clubs. See how this bad boy plays out. Deep enough for a car crash. Phil Galfond, King XX, please, one time. Phil in the tank. Checks through all the way down to the 10 of clubs river. Phil taking down a small one. Over on Binked. Freak does come out firing. Third pot. Like I said, was this a 4-bet pot? It was indeed. Just saying WTF, how long these guys been playing for? 6 hours, 29 minutes, 23 seconds. Phil does make the call. Unfortunately, Action Freak, for those of you that have only recently tuned into the challenge, ran out of funds on Run It Once and is struggling to move money around at the moment. Had a roll on Party Poker. So in order to be able to continue playing out this match, Phil agreed to move over to Party. So unfortunately, because we're not on our own software, that does mean that we cannot get the live updates like we had been having before. That's a good point, actually. The 246 doesn't include Thursday's results. All right, so Phil's post when he was down 900k and Dylan's mental cave helped me so much with my game. Yeah, just two beasts.
when it comes to mental strat. Big spot here. Feel the check pot on the turn, and spades do roll off on the river. I feel like that is a card that's going to favor Action Freak. After he just check calls turn. I have like a lot of Jack 10-8 rundowns with spades. Maybe even a couple of sets with that turn nut spades. Phil putting him in. Maybe it was Phil with the redraw. On the turn. No snap call from Freak. Big pot. I mean, if he calls this one off, it's going to be a 85k pot. And this might just be the hand that wraps things up for today's session. Still certainly going to repot all of his straights with redraws. They're going to include some 5-6-8s, some 5-6 with spades. There you have it, 5-6 with nut spades. Freak flicking in the call with a set of fours, no spade blocker. Or did he have the 3 of spades? I should say no straight blocker. Wow. Don't forget, guys, whilst we are coming to an end of this stream, we do still have a few hours of splashy hours or splash the pot. Could win up to 60% rake back. Appreciate you guys keeping me company until this fine hour, coming up to midnight CET. Wherever it is in the world you are tuning in from, I've appreciated the company. Shout out to Richard as well as Action Freak and Phil. What a day. Got to get the final figures at some point. Farah saying, great job, Henry. Appreciate that. GG's, everyone. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to find out after Phil has had the chance to download the hand histories through the client, and then tomorrow on Run It once his social media obviously be publicly publishing the overall winnings on today's session.